How's it going, guys? Welcome to another video. I mentioned in one of my posts that I was going to give Grapplesnake a try, and I've been getting comments recently because I talk so much about ReString Zero, and I have that here on my shift, which is still strung way too low. It's just that these strings take forever to break, and I've hit with it a lot actually, but still. Yeah, I've talked about in a lot of videos how much the snapback on this string just impresses me, right? Like these are the crosses, and look how they just snap back into place. See? And the same goes for the mains. I mean, these strings are like actually, they've been hit with a lot, so they're not quite snapping back entirely in place. But I just want to compare that to a string like this, which is HyperG string everybody knows and loves. And it just does not, this is a much newer bed of string as well. And these crosses, they just hold out of place. Like you guys can see how crooked it is here. And you could hear on the other one, the strings would actually snap back into place. This is pretty typical. This is the type of performance that I expect from a decent or high-end even polyester string. And that's why Zero really blew me away, is because it just has snapback on a level that for me is unparalleled. And when I say for me, I really do mean that I've tried just about every other string out there that has been touted as having great snapback and great topspin. And that's exactly why I wanted to make this video because, well, let's just show you here. This is the snapback that I'm seeing on Grapplesnake M8. And I strung this at 48 pounds, which is probably a good place to start. That's what I do zero in. I do zero at 48 pounds on my E-Zone 98 here. And this is actually a pretty new set. I hit with this once. And see how these crosses just do the old smiley face thing? They don't really snap back on their own, right? And these mains, they kind of stay out of place as well. I mean, again, this isn't bad. This is actually right in the category of a string that would probably be marketed as having great snapback. But I really feel like Zero takes the idea of great snapback and absolutely blows people's minds in terms of what they might come to expect. If you're expecting this kind of performance and then you come and you see something like this and it snaps back into place every time, that's a whole other level of snapback that most people have never seen. So my point is this: as much as I might talk about ReString Zero and how great the snapback is, it's going to encourage people sometimes to be like, hey, have you tried this string? Have you tried this string? It also has great snapback. I think I'm going to stop listening to comments like that, because unless you have actually tried Zero for yourself, I don't know if I can take a comment like that seriously. So while Grapplesnake M8's snapback is at least on par with other good polyester strings, it's absolutely not on the level of ReString Zero, not even close. And to be frank, there's really nobody else that is. And I've tried all the big names, all the strings out there that are marketed as having great spin. And so I think it's gotten to a point where if anyone gives me their opinion that there's this other string that also has great snapback, I don't know if I can take it seriously unless you've said, I've tried ReString Zero, I've compared the snapback side by side, you should really try this other string. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you haven't tried Zero, you haven't tried the absolute best. And in a way, I'm kind of happy to announce that because I don't want to just be in the rabbit hole of strings forever. I think the point of these journeys sometimes is to get to a place where you're satisfied with the string that you chose because you've tried so many. You feel confident in your decision that this is the best string. This is the string for me. It has all the qualities I'm looking for, or it performs the best in the categories that matter for me, whatever it is. I know that maybe snapback isn't the most important thing for everybody, but for me, it absolutely is one of the most important characteristics of a string, because for me, if a string has really great snapback, it means that the friction between the strings is reduced, which means when you hit topspin the way that I do and you force the mains to constantly get seesawed against the crosses, it's going to increase durability dramatically. Because as much as this motion is happening when I'm hitting, if I can reduce the friction between the mains and the crosses, any amount that I can do that will greatly affect the durability of the string bed. And not only that, you're going to get even more topspin out of the effect of snapback. You will also have a string bed that is more consistently positioned, as in all the mains and all the crosses will actually snap back into position. So you can expect that your string bed will feel the same because it will look the same every single ball that you hit. Whereas, a string like HyperG or also M8, if I hit a handful of topspin balls, sure enough, I look at my racket string bed and the mains or whatever are just a little bit arced. And you might catch somebody kind of straightening out their mains or their crosses. ReString just isn't one of those strings where you need to do that. Now, some people have a string bed with terrible snapback and therefore the strings never really move out of position. And I think for players like that, maybe snapback is less important. But whatever, everybody has their own preferences and I have mine, those are mine. But I think that snapback is a very meaningful characteristic of a string for the reasons that I mentioned. And for those characteristics, I don't think that there really is a string out there that's going to outperform Zero. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I don't think I'll be able to take any comments saying that I should try this string. It also has great snapback very seriously unless this person has also compared it to ReString Zero the way that I have. So that's my announcement. I don't have any hate on Grapplestring M8. I'm just not very impressed by it. I'm sure that it's a really good string, and I'm sure a lot of other people would really love it in comparison to a lot of the other big names out there and so on. But it's not the string for me. I could immediately tell that the snapback was dramatically decreasing the amount of topspin that I was able to get. But it's not any less topspin than I would expect from a string like Luxilon anything or RPM Blast, HyperG, you name it. Other big name strings with spin marketed as one of their qualities. So there it is. I am going to stick with ReString Zero for now, and I honestly kind of look forward to that decision because I'm still kind of in the rabbit hole of rackets, aren't I? So if I can just kind of focus on one rabbit hole at a time, maybe that's nice. But the reality is I do a review channel here, so I will be trying new products, but I think for some time, I don't really see myself bothering trying out strings for a while. I've tried so many strings, and I've been looking for something like ReString Zero, and I think ReString Zero might even be a little bit better than something I could have imagined. All right, well, that's the end of the video. If you guys like the content, please like and subscribe. If you guys want to get 10% off of my favorite string, ReString Zero, there's a link in the description. You can also use my code on their website, Time for Tennis, just like you see it on the channel here. Great guys and a great company. They got a whole eco-friendly thing going on too if you want to look into that more. So on top of getting one of the nicest strings you could possibly get, you're also supporting a string company that is trying to be environmentally friendly, reduce their carbon impact as much as possible. So I think it's really hard to go wrong with ReString Zero. But besides all the environmentally friendly stuff, you should really try it just because it's one of the best strings ever made. And I feel like I can confidently say that after having tried so many of allegedly the most popular strings endorsed by all the big names. All right, well, I will see you guys in the next video. I'll catch you then. Bye.